Hello, beautiful artists. I'm Kelly Hernig, and welcome to my 100-Day Project. On Mondays and Thursdays, we'll be exploring 3 colors, then paint a subject to see what magic they create. Thank you so much for being here. Now let's go paint. For this color mixing session, I wanted to talk to you about Daniel Smith's Lunar colors. They have a whole line that say Lunar. So I have Lunar Violet, I have Lunar Blue. Those are the colors we're going to use today. But then there's also Lunar Red Rock, there's Lunar Earth, and there's also Lunar Black. All of them are granulating, and I bought them to try them. So I'm going to try Lunar Blue and Lunar Violet today with gray titanium. So just Daniel Smith gray titanium. I want to play with the violet more than anything. But I think this is going to get really dark. So I think what I'm going to do is put the violet first, then the titanium, then the blue, and we'll see how that mixes up. This violet seems to be a very dark color on the palette. That's violet. This is the blue, and this is your gray titanium. I'm interested to see how light it gets. So are you ready? Let's go. I'm going to start with Lunar Violet. I don't even know what this color looks like, which is kind of exciting. Wow, it almost looks black. Look at that. Whew, we're going to have fun with this one. It's making me nervous because I can't see the values, so the gray is going to have fun with this one. Oh, wow. Look at that already. Okay, let's start by adding some gray here. Because it's so dark, I'm going to have to add quite a bit. Ooh, there you go. It already changed. I add a bit more water to this. Are you guys seeing this? All right, I'm gonna have fun with this one. So it's getting more muted with this gray titanium. A little more water. I wanna watch it get a little lighter now. This is a beautiful purple violet. Wow. Thank you for reminding me to splash, because I do want to splash these colors before it's too late. I'm going to pull out just a little bit here so that I can get a little more value change, I meant to say. Okay, I'm going to go to pure gray now. I can't wait to see what that and the blue looks like. How about you? Oh, there's the gray by itself. Now remember, this gray titanium is a little on the warm side. So it will be interesting to see what happens to the lavender as it dries, or the violet, and then what happens with this blue now. So we're going to add Lunar Blue, and I have to try to add it in the smallest doses. Notice that I said try. So it can get really powerful fast. Here we go. It already shifted to the blue side. Good thing I did it over there. Now this seems very heavy, but remember, with watercolor, the more water you add, the lighter the value gets. And you can see that in some of the drops already, that it's a much lighter value. I want to add some up there and get that so we can pull that off. There we go. Okay, Luna Earth by itself, or Lunar Earth? No, Lunar Blue. This color is incredible. When I talk about value of a color, I want you to think about adding more water. I'm going to push this aside just a little bit here, and I'm going to show you simply what that means. So let's look at the violet by itself here. Okay, this would be full strength, or some people call it mass tone, because that's how it comes out of the tube basically. Okay, all I'm going to do is dip my brush into the water, come over to my palette. See how much more watery this is? I'm not dipping into that color again. I'm going to go in, dip some more into my water. Each time the color is getting lighter. Dipping again to the water. Dipping again. Dipping again. I'm going to rinse my brush and touch into just this lighter puddle here. So this is what I mean by values. Every time you add water or it becomes lighter, it's called a tint, T-I-N-T. Every time you would add, say you're going to add black to this color and step it out the other way, so where it was getting darker, that would be a shade color. So this is the original hue, and then these are also called tones, T-O-N-E-S, the tones of a color. And you can see now as it separates or as it gets lighter, you're seeing that it's a very grayed down violet. And of course, I like that. You can also see that it's granulating just a little bit. By granulation, see that you can see the texture of the paper a little bit more. So that means that the paint is actually seeping down into the texture of the paper, and it's actually granulating. So think of salt granules. It's kind of like that, only the paint now is seeped into the crevices of the paper. So when I am splashing color all the time or splashing water, I want to see the tones or the values that it achieves. And you can see all these really light tones. And so what this does is it helps me see the mass tone color, but it also lets me see the possibilities of what the value can go for the lightest value there. I've got really nice, the blue here, and the gray really is beautiful in here. I like the gray titanium and how it's kind of gone into the blue. It kind of almost looks greenish here. And I like this. It almost looks like, think of the color of bark without the brown, like a gray bark. This would be really beautiful from here to here to create a tree with, especially if you're using the values like this. So think about if we did a lighter wash, maybe this kind of wash first, and then we stepped into these darker values. I think that would be really, really pretty. So let's have fun with this leaf now. And with this leaf, I think I'm going to split this leaf in half. Let's see, yeah, let me draw a pencil line. So I'm just adding the vein line right in the middle there. And I need to erase some of my lines. And what I'm going to do is, I see the darks really a lot here. I'm going to try to go lighter. Remember when we did this leaf from 19 and 20, where we did a lighter value? So remember we did one dark and we did one light. I'm going to try to do a lighter value as well on this one. So half the leaf is going to be darker, half of it is going to be lighter. I want to see what range we have with these colors. So I'm going to start with this purpley gray mix. Purple is so pretty, or the violet, I should say. Gonna go into this blue now. I'm watching this to see if I need to splash. Not just yet. Okay, I want to add some solid blue here. But that one's starting to dry. All right. Wow, look at that. Need to do some gray by itself here. It looks so brown next to these colors. I think that's really neat. It's all relative to your color mixing. You know, it can look one way when you have it next to blues. It will look another way when you have it next to the yellows, because yellow is a warm color. That's what I find really interesting about colors like that. Let's see, this side now I'm supposed to be going lighter. There we go. Let's get some of that gray in here by itself. I'm liking what the water did over there. I'm getting distracted by the look of that. I'm going to add some pure violet here. Let's see what happens with that. Remember, lighter values. Okay, I'm going to end on blue, I think. Oops. Okay, I'm going to touch a little bit of blue up here. Let's lighten that just a little bit. And now that has to dry, and then I'll be back. The colors are all dry, and I want you to pay attention to how the colors blended with one another and just the richness of the colors. You can see, again, remember when I talked about hard and soft edges with the pear? Here I've got a real soft edge through here, and here I've got a real hard edge. See how firm it is? See how this one kind of disappears? Then up here I've got a soft edge up here next to a hard edge. That's kind of a hard edge, but that's a softer edge. I have a softer edge here with color. Then here's a hard edge, here's a hard edge. I'm going to bring you up close, and I want you to see all the values that are in here. Are you seeing the soft edge right here now and the soft edge here versus the hard edge right there? But look at the texture on this. And are you seeing the values? I've got it real dark towards the stem area here. And then I've got it lighter through the middle, like right through this area. It's pretty light. That's probably the lightest part of the leaf. And then it goes up to almost a medium dark value up at the top. So I want you to kind of squint your eyes at this. And when you squint your eyes, you should be able to see the really dark really well, and then the light where it almost fades into the paper. So you should have it pretty light here and pretty light through here. But then the rest of it is medium value. It's kind of an easy way to look at things when you squint your eyes, because it eliminates all those middle tones and it kind of just makes you see light and dark, and the rest is middle. Again, the colors, look how beautiful that looks. This is Daniel Smith Lunar Violet, Daniel Smith Gray Titanium, Daniel Smith Lunar Blue. If you want to know the exact supplies I'm using, there is a 100 days supply video that lists all my supplies. The color palette that I've used for this lesson is in the description box. I would appreciate your comments on how you liked or didn't like this palette. I know for me it was quite a challenge. It's quite dark, but I see a lot of uses for this. What would you use it for? That's always the question. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.